and welcome to Teach the World to Trade. Thank you so much for seeking us out and downloading this content to help you on your journey to succeed as a trader. At Teach the World to Trade, as founder, our contract is to try and change 1 million lives through trading. I'm going to use my knowledge, experience, and educational know-how from a 20-year career in trading and educating traders and mentoring traders, recruiting traders, managing traders, everything to do with trading, locally and internationally, to get you closer to achieving your goals. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Let's dive in. So let's fill you in with why you should work with me and the team at Teach the World to Trade. So I set this up after 20 years of trading experience for professional institutions, the largest trading firms in the world. I've traded multi-assets, from interest rates to oil to sugar, crypto. I've been trading a lot of over the past few years as well. Bonds, stocks, currencies, you name it. I've traded it successfully as well and consistently over the past 20 years. So I've got 20 years of consistent trading performance behind me. Little fact, never had a down year. And in my company, my first company, I was in the 1% of the company of thousands of traders that made a bonus in their first year. So after 20 years, I can say that I can trade and I'm pretty good at it. I don't like to say great or good, but I'll go with pretty good. Okay, 20 years experience though. I've been in the game a long time. This is more pertinent to you as well. I've trained over 1,000 professional traders in my time. I've had my own trading office from the age of, I think it was 27, when I was mentoring and trading traders. You know, that was a long time ago now. I won't let you know how long. But I started mentoring, training, and taking on traders back in 2008, just before the financial crisis. That's why it sticks out in my mind. And I had an office up to 20 traders, and then I moved to an office down here on the coast in Brighton. I had a room for up to 120 traders. COVID hit, had to do everything asynchronously like this. Pitched the idea to the CEO of the trading company, had 15 offices around the world, that I could do this online and I could recruit, train, mentor, manage traders remotely. It's a great idea, do it for the whole group. Before you know it, I'm launching an international trading academy over 3-4 countries, 3 continents, taking on people remotely and training them how to trade professionally. So yeah, I've been doing that. I'm a qualified coach as well, so I weave that coaching element into my training as well and my educating. In the meantime, while I was working as a trader, all the time I've been trading, which is very rare in what I do. So I've been trading, training and managing traders, recruiting traders. And then I got the opportunity down in Brighton to lecture at Sussex University. I was asked if I'd like to develop a trading module. Never lectured before, never taught before in that sort of capacity. So for a university, I didn't even have the grades to get into. So I said, yeah, sure. Why not? You know, probably like you in your trading journey is like, sure, you know, I'm going to learn to trade. It's pushing myself out of my comfort zone, which we'll talk about, and trying to do something new to improve myself. So I did it, signed up, constructed a module, trading strategies, a 10-week module, taught it for 5 years. It became the most popular module in the business school, which I'm over the moon with, and kind of embedded that education part in me, which has helped on my way to starting Teach the World to Trade and trying to help as many people as I can learn to trade and demystifying those markets. I had some great feedback from well, both professionally and academically about what I do and how I deliver things and how I break things down. So, you know, let's do it to the whole world. Let's see how many people I can reach in my short time on this spinning rock. So yeah, this is the big idea. 1 million lives to change. Can I push myself out there and my skill set with a team to reach 1 million people, at least 1 million people? And hopefully you're one of them that I help change their lives. So why am I doing this if I'm a successful trader? It is probably the first question I used to get asked when doing interviews for junior traders. Why bother if you're a successful trader? Why take me on? Well, it's mostly because I can. I've got an opportunity to help others, which I really enjoy doing. I used to say to these young interviewees that I can't see every market move. I can't see every opportunity in the markets. Why not train others to do so when I'm not there? They were under my P&L at the end of the day, so it was kind of extrinsically linked to me. But I found that the intrinsic side was even better. I'm a kid from a council estate. My parents didn't have a lot. I worked hard and I've achieved great things in trading. When you're young and hungry, or even when at your age, you need to pay the bills, right? You need money to pay the bills. If you work in the world of money, there's a lot. My theory was there's so much money flying around. I want the tiny fraction of it. Surely I can just educate myself and get there. And yeah, I did, and the rest is history. And now I can break it down to help you because I've had all this experience. So I don't want to waste that. I want to help you out because I can. We brushed on it, the intrinsic side of helping others. Some of my favorite stories are from traders that I've helped out that have been from similar backgrounds, that have worked really hard, succeeded at trading, and then they've gone on to help their mum buy a house is one of my favorites. That's happened a few times. Helped out sick family members financially because they've been able to. Just really nice, heartwarming stories. People that have came over to the UK that didn't have any hope, worked really hard to get themselves into education, and then managed to find a job with me and then succeed. That's great. Yeah, just demystifying markets for people that don't understand them and help them out on their journey. It's great for me, and I feel that Maslow has a saying. Abraham Maslow is an old school psychologist, and he says, "What you can be, you must be, and you must follow a path, right? What you can be, you must be." And goes to number one, right? Turns out I can teach people to trade. I've done it 1,000 times. I can trade. I've done 20 years of consistent trading, millions of pounds worth of trading profits over the years. So I can do these things and I can help others because that's been proven in my training, educating, and mentoring side. So I can, and I enjoy it. And it kind of centers on a financial wellness kind of avenue, really, where I think that everyone should understand how markets work and the basic principles behind them working, because at some point, everyone will have to make a trade. Everyone. Simple one. If you're getting a mortgage, you're going to have to understand interest rates. Very important. If you have to speak to a broker, a so-called professional, about their opinion about interest rates, doesn't mean they're going to be right. And if you don't know what they're talking about really and where their opinions are coming, you might end up out of pocket. Super simple. So I think everyone needs to understand this financial wellness through capital markets. And that's where I want to help on every avenue possible. So what are we going to look at in this session? We're going to look at how professional futures traders think and operate. I've worked with thousands of professionals over the year, all over the world, different backgrounds, different personality types, different strengths, different weaknesses, trying to bring as much of it together in this session and future sessions to help you succeed. We're going to have a look at some of the basics of market movement and the price discovery, a little bit of economics 101, why markets move. We'll take a little look into that. And then what to expect through these further freemium modules that we're going to do. Okay, how do the professionals trade? Many years ago, just before COVID, I had to redesign our training and our education for our traders in my office down here on the South Coast, because something wasn't working. We were getting good people in, but using the same training we'd always done, but we weren't getting the results. So I did a deep dive, had a little look, understanding what successful traders do, and kind of back testing it then, and working backwards to then find out how we can train them. We also looked at the dynamics of each trader and why they succeed. And it comes down to a lot of discipline. It's very important, and that's going to come up a lot in your own trader journey and my teaching. Consistency, mentioned that a lot. It's all about consistency. I can teach anyone, anywhere how to trade. It's one of my taglines, has been for years. And I now have a structured process which people use and traders use and I use, and that's the discipline to use that over what we call punting, which is just taking a gamble. I'm always asked, trading, isn't it just like gambling? And no, not really, because there's a lot of reasons why a market move and a lot of fundamentals and a lot of technicals that we'll go on further and talk about. And there is a structured, rigorous process that you've got to stick to in order to get that success. Discipline, consistency, and process over punting is absolutely key to professional success. Having clear rules for risk management and trade selection, very, very important. Risk and the trade selection, super important. We're going to talk about both of those. Risk management is quite a deep subject that might be in further modules should you carry on with your journey with Teach the World to Trade. But yeah, understanding risk management is absolutely key. In a nutshell, how much are you willing to lose on a trade? Really, how much can you stomach? And then is that enough compared to your upside? But we'll go into that further down the line. Focusing on that probability and not emotion. It's a lot of numbers. It's a game of numbers. And I've always broken it down statistically, what my chance of this succeeding versus the chance of it not succeeding. And then almost putting it on a risk scale is something that I teach. So we'll look into that too. So focusing on that probability, not emotion. Very, very important. Emotion is going to come up a lot in what we do as well. So let's have a look at some of the core basics of markets and why they move. Number one, supply and demand drives price. Super easy economics 101. Hopefully you've covered some of this sort of stuff, but at its core, the market's an auction, right? Prices rise when buyers are aggressive and fall when sellers are. It's this constant battle between buyers and sellers, bulls and bears. So if there's more demand for something, there's going to be more people buying it, price goes up. Less demand, price goes down. More supply of something like a commodity, there's going to be more of it, so the price goes down. Less of it, price goes up. Super simple. Supply and demand 101. The very basis of why markets move. So you've got those buyers versus sellers at each price level. The markets are in constant battle, as I alluded to in number one, jumping the gun, but it's all intertwined. The markets are a constant battle between the bulls versus the bears. If you're bullish, this is you're going to get a bit of trading jargon thrown in here and there. If you're bullish, you think the market's going up. Bearish, you think the market's going down, okay? Bullish up, bearish down. Bullish up, bearish down. Number three, you've got news, data, and sentiment affecting short-term price moves. We call this fundamentals. And there's a whole section on this in the Learn to Trade Like a Professional course. The fundamentals are the key to unlocking market success. I'm going to cover them in this section a bit later on. We'll talk a little bit about fundamentals and move over some practice about those as well. But they are absolutely key, understanding the news and the data and understanding the kind of heartbeat of the market, really. Number four, by looking back, we can look forward. Technical analysis. I imagine if you've got this far to come and see us at Teach the World to Trade, you might have seen a chart so far, a candlestick chart. These are widely used in the trading world. Technical analysis is the tool of choice. Learn the way of the candle as your pathway to profitability. We cover that in depth in our Learn to Trade Like a Pro course. Number five, futures markets are price discovery engines. So it's probably the first time I've mentioned futures markets to you, but that is in essence the market that I trade, futures markets. Also a lot of crypto. I do trade spot, which is the different. I will speak about the difference between futures and spot markets and crypto markets when we move on. But the futures market are price discovery engines because they're looking into the future where the value of a market might be and the price of a market. So they're run on the efficient market hypothesis in action. So everyone is trying to find value. The efficient market hypothesis being all markets are pricing in all the information known at that one time. Eugene Fama came up with it in 1974. I think it's a bit distorted now. I think markets are efficiently inefficient. There's a book about that. And that's what creates the opportunity for the likes of you and me. Okay, so the futures markets are pricing in this price discovery, which is the efficient market hypothesis. The market price in the future, if we're trading futures, is anticipating all of the news up to that point and putting the price there. But when you're trading into the future, maybe 1 or 2 months into markets. A lot can happen in that time. That's why prices move a lot. But we'll go into more of that later. Okay, what to expect in the coming units. We're going to cover preparation. So you've got to be prepared before you start trading. Get yourself ready mentally and attuned as a trader. I'm going to show you a few things that I do that other traders do. Then I'm going to give you an eye opener, a bird's eye view of the process that I teach and that I use myself as a trader. And then we're going to move on to practice. So I do my learning, coaching, training, education in 3 phases: preparation, process, practice. Okay, super important. And then we get you from practice to mastery on your pathway to profitability. That is our structured approach. So there's always a structure to what we do. There's method to the madness, right? As always, gratitude from my end. I'm super grateful for you downloading this content and listening to me for this short time. And I'm looking forward to taking you on the journey over the next few units to get you on that pathway to profitability. So we have a saying, teach the world to trade, and it's win or learn. You never lose. As long as you try, learn from your mistakes, you're always going to be winning. You're always going to be that step closer to succeeding as a trader. And that's where I want to take you, to the best version of yourself. Okay? So see you on the other side.